So you have to know what you're saying or be aware of what you're saying or have some self-awareness. Some people literally just it's like some people are in their mind, they're picturing what's going on. They see what happened in court, but they're not paying attention to what they're saying. If you're picturing an elephant and you say the word mouse, I'm picturing a mouse and we're not on the same wavelength. You might be picturing a mouse and that's your reality in your mind and you're thinking it and you're picturing that you saw a mouse the other day and you're talking about it. But if you say the word elephant, you're painting an entirely different picture to me. This happens in consultations with me a lot. Somebody will say what they think might be a word. They don't even know the definition of the word and they're just throwing out random words. A lot of people will say, this happens a lot when I'm talking about declarations and depositions. So I'll say, do you know what a deposition is? And they say, yeah. You know, we had about 3 depositions. I'm like, what? You usually only have 1 during a case. And they'll say, yeah, the mother had a deposition, my wife had a deposition, my new wife had a deposition, and I did a deposition. And then, you know, a couple minutes down the road, we're talking about different things, and I'll say, well, what did they confess to at the deposition? And then the client's like, what do you mean confess? When they were being interrogated. They weren't interrogated, they just wrote a deposition. And then I think, oh, you mean declaration? Yeah, a declaration. They wrote a statement. And I'm like, dude, if you tell me the word deposition and you're talking about a declaration, you're talking about an entirely different thing. That's like saying writing a book versus giving a speech in an arena. Those are 2 totally different things. Just because the word sounds almost the same doesn't mean it's the same thing. You guys have to pay attention to your words. I had somebody who was arguing with me and saying, look, you're not listening to me, you're not following along. And then they went back to the whole history of their case, and then which I already understood, and then they came to a point where they're talking about something, and they were so far off of what they meant and what they were telling me, they thought that I was lost. You know, this is all part of the whole thing of me telling people, you got to have your shit together. If you're a salesman and you have a job as a salesman and you go in and you're pitching, I don't know, a cleaning product. Let's say you're an Amway salesman and you're trying to get somebody to buy some soap detergent for the sink. And you're describing some ant killer. That's not even close. Why would you be talking about that? And how could you be that far off? No, I mean, no normal person would be. But people do that when they go to court. And they just start rambling off words because they want to talk and sound all good. You know, courts get pissed off at pro ses when they try and act like some hotshot attorney. There's some folks go in there and like, ooh, I know some stuff. And they walk in with a briefcase and a suit, and they're trying to act like an attorney because they learned some law. Then they go in there and they make a fool of themselves because they don't know what they're doing totally, or they make some mistakes. Just go in and be yourself. Stop trying to be fake. Stop trying to do more than what you know. Just be real and be honest. And a lot of times when you go to court, if you just talk plain English and tell the court what you think and what you mean in plain English, they can follow along. But if you try and match them with all the legal mumbo jumbo, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, and you're trying to fit in or throw words out that you think you know, if you don't have them down and don't fully understand them or haven't looked them up yourself, you're going to look like a stupid jackass. Or if you're having a consultation with me and you're telling me I'm not following along, and you're the one who just started a court case and you're throwing out words that you think, if you're talking about a judge and you meant a lawyer, me and you are we're in 2 totally different galaxies. We're not even close. People also love to say, you know, when we were at court, there was the guardian line and the parenting evaluator and the mother and her attorney and my attorney and the judge. And then she said this, and then he said that, and she said that. How the frick do you think that I should be able to follow along? Like, are you that dumb that when you say he, she, them, and they, that any audience of yours should know what the hell you're talking about? You should have some kind of self-awareness. Now, this is stuff that's common sense. This is why I'm talking harshly. Because you're being lazy. You can't be that stupid to say, hey, there's 400 people over here, and she said that you're a jerk. Nobody in their right mind would talk about a multiple amount of people or a group of people and then just use a pronoun, he, she, or they, and them. Nobody knows what the hell you're talking about. It's easier to say the mother, the father, the mom's lawyer, the aunt, the uncle, the judge, the bailiff. Give them their title. There's no way to mix up when you have a mother, unless you have a homosexual couple in court, when you talk about the mother, or you talk about the mom's lawyer, or you talk about the parenting evaluator, or the GAL, there's ways to say it quickly. Stop being lazy. Like, I'm so lazy, I don't want to have to say the evaluator. That's too many syllables. I'd rather say he. Come on, man, get off your lazy ass and have your shit together. We're talking about trying to get you answered. If you give me misinformation, or you're way off here in left field talking about something batshit crazy scenario that I'm not even following along with, and you mean to talk about the order of the court hearing, or the order of how the deposition went, or the order of events leading up to the domestic violence incident, you know, you got a police officer, you got 4 witnesses, you got your baby's mom, you got the kids, your father-in-law was over there, and then it was you. And then there's 8 different people. You told me they did that person did this, the mother did this, and then you start saying, well, they said this, and then they said that, and then they. Who the frick is they? Come on, man. If you go up and tell a book report in middle school, and you say, well, the author was talking about these characters, you know, and they went and did this thing over there, and they were kind of doing that and this and that and that. Slow the frick down. I mean, you'd get an F for that. You have to talk in a little bit more detail. That when you're talking about your court case, some of you just want to blab so much, you just want to just spit it all out because you're in an emotional state and you just want to vent or yak and talk. And then you're so lazy, you don't want to put any effort in to think about what you're saying or articulate it in a clearly communicated way. You can't do that at work. You can't do that on a paper or an oral report in school. Why the frick do you think you could tell me your story? I don't know you from Adam. Just because you watch some of my videos doesn't... And a lot of people call me up and say, hey, James, I talked to you 2.5 months ago. That thing that happened over there, well, it turned out really good. What the frick are you talking about? I've talked to 500 people since then. Have some freaking self-awareness. Don't be a lazy-ass bum. And talk normal. When you use words... Use the actual words that actually describe. And if you say, you know, I forget what it's called, but the person who investigates the case and writes a report. And then I'll say, oh, GAL. Yeah, that person. That person said this in their report. I mean, there's been times where I've wasted 20 or 15 or 20 minutes giving people information that has to do with a guardian ad litem, or what the judge said, or what the court said, or what a family law facilitator said, because you told me the wrong person, you used the wrong name, so we're spending all this time and I'm giving you all this valuable information about something that doesn't even matter, and you led us down the wrong road. Now, there's normal miscommunications that happen, but when you're that lazy and then you want to project blame on somebody else because you're too retarded to talk normal and use the proper words, it's time for you to reevaluate, or, I mean, you could sabotage your case on this too. Know the words that you're speaking and be careful to describe what you're seeing and talking about in